Obviously, I'm saying hats off to Patrick Marleau, who becomes the all-time leader in games played in the NHL, passing Gordie Howe. Okay, what was it? 17,068 regular season games? No, scratch that. 1,768 regular season games. He did it against Vegas last Monday. Gordie Howe had held the record since 1961 when he overtook Ted Lindsay, who was at 999. Pretty nice number there for Ted. And became the first player to appear in at least 1,000 career NHL regular season games. Good for Ted. Now, my point tying back to what we just talked about, Patrick Marleau, not exactly a Hall of Fame player, right? People consider Gordie Howe one of the greatest of all time. Some consider him the greatest of all time. However you want to spin it, I think he's definitely in the top 5 to top 10. Patrick Marleau isn't going to come anywhere close to sniffing that. I don't even know if he's in top 100, 200, 300 of all time great players playing the game. No major individual awards, no cups. Does it devalue this record in any way in your mind that Patrick Marleau has now become the all-time leader?
In my opinion, no. I think we're not saying that he's a better hockey player. We're not saying that he's had more production than any of these other guys. We're strictly saying that he's played the most games. And you can say what you want, but I've always had the utmost respect for the guys that have put up these numbers throughout time, and regardless of what sport. Joe Thomas in my sport, you have to look up to. I mean, in order to stay healthy, especially in hockey, football, in a physical sport where you're hitting or getting hit on a daily occurrence, right? In order to be able to have the best ability, and that's availability, every single year, strapping them up, suiting up, and being available for your team, you have to have a certain amount of luck. You have to have a certain amount of professionalism by taking care of your body and doing all the other things and the little things off the ice, on the ice, whatever it may be. But to have that achievement is unbelievable. I mean, that is an absurd amount of games. And like I said, you have to have a little bit of luck involved, but you also have to be doing all the right things on and off the ice. Shout out to their equipment guys for putting together pretty awesome gloves for that achievement as well.
They were cool. They were sweet. And it was like, I almost forgot that he was a Penguin. He was a deadline pickup. And then they had the Pens logo on there. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Look at that.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Good for him. Now, I feel very similar to you. I think it's easier to play longer now because of the advancements in nutrition, just technology in general, medicine, so on and so forth. But I don't think that diminishes what he's done, because if he wasn't good enough, team's got no problem cutting you, trading you, dumping your salary, getting rid of you. Now, he's been moved around a little bit. His performance has obviously declined in recent years, and a lot of people say look to his stats this year, where he's got 45 games played, he's got 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. He's a -4 on a bad Sharks team.
It's just as many goals as Taylor Hall, I'm just saying.
Exactly. Who just went for a second-round pick and was claimed to be one of the best deadline pickups out there. Now, circumstances slightly different, age factoring in, potential, all that, but like what he's done is nothing short of incredible. To break a record like that one of the greatest players of all time has held, is outstanding. He should be applauded for it. He should not be detracted and torn down because he isn't as talented or hasn't put up the numbers that Gordie Howe has. I don't think he's clinging along and just chugging along. I genuinely believe him when he said, like, I love playing the game. How could you not? It's a kid's game. AQ, you could probably speak to this better than anyone. You were forced to retire for medical reasons. I'm sure 100% positive if you were still healthy, you'd fucking still be strapping them up any chance you got. And I think he feels the same way. I don't think he's taking it for granted. I think he's just saying, hey, look, I'm healthy. I can still play. Maybe not the level I once did, but I can still go out here for a bad team and be a veteran presence and help these young kids out. And I applaud that. And I don't think anyone should speak any less of him for doing that. I don't think it takes away from the luster of this achievement at all.
I agree. Gumpy, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, the guy done it for so long. Like, you just can't take away from that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, we get it. Of course, maybe he's not a Hall of Fame player.
But it's not the record. The record's not about that.
No.
It's like Cal Ripken in baseball.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken was a great ball player. He put together the streak. No one's ever going to match that streak. Like, Marleau will go down. I mean, I think the biggest thing about Marleau will probably be that those Sharks teams never got there.
Couldn't get it done.
Because those teams were so fucking good every year in the regular season, and they just couldn't get there. I think that's the only knock that you could have on Marleau, and I don't think that's a knock on him. I think that's a knock on that whole team.